Welcome back to Studio F, where on Fast Times Willy B, we'll be reviewing Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Russell.
Welcome back to Fast Times Willy B. I'm Willy B. I've got Kory with me, and now we jump 1 year later to 1982, where we got a movie that has nothing to do with the first two and nothing to do with the three to come. But we've got Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and you're getting a good review here from the two of us. Just gonna give you a little hint there.
That was a good idea.
This isn't going to be... I know this is a very divisive film in the franchise. You have a lot that hate it because Michael's not in it. You have people who love it because it's a good movie. And that's us too. So we're going to talk about Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Directors-wise, we got Tommy Lee Wallace, who, has had his hands within the Halloween movies.
His grubby. No, I'm just kidding. Great guy.
Great guy.
Yeah. Seems like maybe the nicest man that's ever worked on movie production ever.
Probably.
He seems like a nice, Uncle Tommy.
Yeah. Cast-wise, Tom Atkins and his mustache appear in this film. Great stuff.
Separate characters.
We've got Stacey Nelkin. We've got Dick Warlock.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Dan O'Harely.
Oh, Harley, yeah.
He plays Cochran.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got
Nancy
Loomis. Nancy Kies. I never say his last name. But
we're sticking with Nancy Loomis.
Yeah, she's back for 3 minutes. But we'll start with the good. And, man, every time I watch this movie, I wonder what an anthology past this would have looked like.
I know.
And I'm not mad we went back to Michael because I love the Curse of Thorn trilogy, which I know that's another divisive thing, and we'll get into that. But I always wonder, what would have come after Season of the Witch if we stuck with the anthology?
I mean, that's probably the best thing about this movie is it stays so Halloween in its nature and whatever, but moving away from the Michael Myers things, it just gives us something different.
Yeah.
Honest to God, still to this day, I will never, ever, ever say, I love this movie. I think it's great. I think for the rest of my life, I will say they need to take Halloween 3 out of the title and just call it Season of the Witch.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that would have been just a cool route to go. Just keep making Halloween movies, but take the Halloween out of the title.
Or even if you just take out Halloween 3 and just call it Halloween Season of the Witch. That I think I would love. Because to me, it still feels it deserves the title of Halloween.
Yeah, because it's a Halloween movie.
Absolutely.
This one's cool, too, because it takes us out to California rather than, where we've been in Haddonfield this whole time for the first two movies. So we're out in Santa Mira, is where most of the stuff in this movie goes down at the Silver Shamrock factory.
Love that set, dude.
But dude.
It's like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory kind of set. Though I don't know why. I have a weird kink for factory sets, dude.
Yeah.
Every Willy Wonka movie, Shrek 2.
Yeah.
This movie. Yeah. I love factory settings
Shrek
where they're
2.
not just making steel. I love Shrek 2.
But no.
I love
Season of the Witch, man. It still captures Halloween, but you got that more California feel to it. So, you're not having the leave changes per se that you would over in Haddonfield, but you still feel that fall vibe. Especially with, costume. We've got a lot of longer sleeves and jeans, and it just looks chilly outside.
Yeah.
So you get that fall feel for sure.
You definitely get more of a, because Haddonfield's meant to be small town USA.
Yeah.
But it's very suburby. I feel like this you get a lot more rural.
Yeah.
Area, and I love that for the season.
Yeah. But man, this is cool. So obviously we're doing away from the slasher genre with this one. This one's more of a
I don't know.
I don't even know what you'd call it. It's
psychological. No, it's not a psychological.
You could almost go in the realm of sci-fi.
You know what? Sci-fi might actually be the best way to say it. Sci-fi, thriller, horror.
Yeah. Because you've got this...
Fuck.
You got Cochran, who's the big bad of this movie. He's a witch. And...
A warlock.
Well,
which is a male witch.
I know, but he calls himself a witch in the movie. I always wondered
That's true.
I always wondered why he didn't call himself a warlock.
Even though in all the descriptions and everything, they're like an evil warlock.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
But
That's a good point.
he technically is a warlock. I agree.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
He talks about how he's from like early Celtic times, and he is trying to bring back the true meaning of Halloween, which is sacrificing something so you don't, you know.
It's like to preserve the crops and
and
all
so
that stuff.
he decides, what if I sell these Halloween masks that sacrifice all of the children in America? I think this is a really cool concept of movie.
I think it's great.
I love watching this movie. I hate when people don't give it a chance because Michael Myers isn't in it, which he technically is. They show
on TV
a commercial of Halloween, and they show the movie while Tom Atkins is in the room with the
watching
mask on.
that movie is what gets you killed.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, but it's just it doesn't have Michael Myers in it, but it still has all the charm of a Halloween movie. It has all of the atmospheric Halloween stuff you want. The masks are cool. I love the pumpkin skull and witch masks. I think all three are iconic, which is...
I think just for color scheme purpose, like orange and green, and then with the witch you get the, just a little bit of
like
green.
The green and purple.
You get the green and purple, and then the skeleton's just like gray. But I mean, it's just every time I see a pack of like the little action figures or whatever, I'm like, I don't know why, but I want to buy that.
Putting all three of them together would be a really cool tattoo.
Oh man, I was about to be like, damn, you're right. You son of a bitch.
That goes to show how much I love this movie.
He's got that tattoo.
I do have a tattoo for this film. Season of the Witch is just... It's another one of those ones where I just have nothing but good things to say about it. Tom Atkins is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love him in our lead role. I love Nelkin as well. I think she's a great supporting,
for sure.
She has a crazy arc too with the she's introduced to him after her father dies in his hospital, and then they go to figure out stuff, and then they fall for each other.
I mean, really, the emotional core kind of sticks with her.
Yeah.
And Tom Atkins takes advantage of her, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Which I'm liking that trend that I'm starting to only now notice. Like, movies seem to be kind of obsessed in the 70s and 80s with like our marriage is going down, find love with a younger, sweeter girl or whatever. And it's like, oh, it's passable because we're on a crazy adventure where we both might die, and my marriage was already in the fritz anyway.
Yeah.
Like, man, that is a fucking weird trend that I have started to notice lately.
With Close Encounters in this one.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. It's the flawed hero, though. That's what I love.
Yeah.
I never love a complete... I don't want to say never, but I like a flawed hero.
Yeah. Makes him human,
Yeah, absolutely.
This one's cool, too, because they're just taking on this town together, and you as the movie progresses, you get this feel that, Cochran's running the show in Santa Mira, not just
pretty
the factory.
Quickly.
And...
Oh, man. The way people talk about him just makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, and, we get some creative kills in this one too, when the lady's messing with the chip and the beam shoots her in the face.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I always thought that scene was insane.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
and it still is. Like when I watch this movie, that's like a scene. Like every time I'm like, ugh, God, like the special, like the practical effects, I should say, that they do there are
absolutely
really good, especially for '82, and. What a scene.
The kill that always stuck with me in this movie was always I guess we're just going to call them robots, essentially.
Yeah. I think they're called androids in the credits.
The android. When the android goes to, choke the life out of her dad. What's her name? Annie?
Oh.
What the hell's her name?
Ellie.
That's right.
You're talking about the dad.
Annie. I'm thinking of Nancy Loomis. Yeah, chokes out the dad and then pours gasoline on himself and lights himself on fire in the parking lot.
Yeah,
phenomenal. Because especially
he doesn't choke him out. He puts his fingers through his eyes and snaps his and
spreads them. Oh, yeah. And then just the fact that, man, it's so good. Especially when you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Watching that the first time, I was like, holy shit, they're ready to die for this guy.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know they were androids.
Yeah.
Dick Warlock cameo. That's fun.
Yeah.
As playing an android this time.
Yeah.
Instead of playing Michael Myers as an android.
Yeah. There was I was looking at the kill count, and it said the hobo gets decapitated, and it said decapitated by Dick Warlock, and I'm like, why doesn't it say his character's name? And I was like, well, he plays all of the androids, so
yeah,
it's his android, I guess. But
yeah, right.
I love how the adventure progresses too, man. We get there, you feel this fishy feeling with the town, You go down to the factory. It leads to a little bit of a tour, and that leads to you seeing her dad's car, and you're like, oh shit, like they're starting to catch on. And then from there, you know, I can't remember the family's name, but the family gets taken in, and they're watching. He's watching the family experience what he's going to do to the whole world, and I think that scene always just sticks with me because it's like, imagine being in that moment the guy watching this happen, and you're like,
and you know that's gonna happen to like the rest of the world.
Yeah, and the bugs and the snakes, it was always gross. And then obviously he gets put in the room with the mask, and he has the escape. He perfectly throws the mask on the camera.
Love that.
Badass.
The skull. Great.
But I love that he saves Ellie, and I love his way to take out the whole crew, where he discovers the box of chips and he throws them while he puts the commercial on. And then some people I know are confused and mixed on Cochrane's death. Because there's no saying he's dead. I mean, he technically still be alive. He is witch, warlock, whatever you want to call him.
Sure.
I always thought it was cool because, you know, if you really pay attention to his character, he talks about the process throughout the entire movie of, like, you know, bringing the Stonehenge to get the power, and the planets align, and that's why the power's coming from it. And then when the TVs make that sound, it just like everything that they describe throughout the movie makes it make sense. I feel like the people that knock on the end are the people that are like not giving it a chance.
I mean, in universe, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Really. I never loved that the big reveal down there was really just a big rock that they would just, but like knowing, but it also is kind of cool at the same time because they're chipping off the rock and putting the rock chips in the chips, right? And, you know, and I think there's some good special effects whenever they blow up the rock or whatever, and there's the electricity is going everywhere, and you know. So I think there's great stuff like that, and also great, like, you know, visual effects with the androids too. Yeah. Oh my god, like the orangey.
You know how they made that, right?
Tell me it's chicken noodle soup or some shit.
No, it's OJ.
It's orange juice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the goopiest fucking orange juice I've ever seen.
I think they like semi-froze it or something like that.
Oh.
To make it thicker.
Oh, I get it. Gross.
But no, man, I like all of it, and then you know the twist that Ellie's an android.
That took me by complete surprise.
Yeah.
I watched this as an adult, by the way. You always gave this one a chance. I was that guy. Again, I didn't turn around on horror movies till I was in high school. But when I finally did a first rewatch as an adult, actually being cognitive, being able to remember things, doing a full rewatch of Halloween, I was like 20. 21, something like that, and I skipped over Halloween 3 because I didn't even know what it was. I just knew that he wasn't in it, so I skipped it.
I love this movie.
And you turned me around to watch it and like when I was like 22 or something like that. Life's been different ever since. Or 21. I think it's 21. Life's been different ever since.
Yeah, man.
I love this one. This is one of my favorites of the entire franchise.
Yeah, this is like
spoiler.
Well, I agree with you.
And technically, you did a Halloween ranking a long time ago, so...
Yeah, but...
First video.
I also want to throw cinematography in the good, because something I thought about when we, like, kind of get the little gap, the shots we get of all the different places celebrating Halloween, I think is, like, the best, like, little thing in the movie. Like, where it jumps to different cities and kids are trick-or-treating.
Oh, my God, the kids walking up the hill.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the cover of the box, but, man... Yeah. I hate to be basic. That's for sure my favorite shot, though. Yeah. That's great. It's like a dusk, too. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
What a shot. And then from there, we get the, stop it. Stop it.
That's what I was going to get to. This has, aside from the very first Halloween movie, and even then, this one might be my favorite ending. Yeah. It's either my second favorite. It might be my favorite. Yeah. I love the end of the, stop it.
Well, you don't know. Did they stop it?
That's a great. I mean, I love seeing all of those cameras and seeing them. You know, stand by. But there's just that one channel, and if they still even have one out there, that's still going to do a ton of damage. Yeah.
What a movie!
I don't know. So fascinating. Yeah, production design is great.
Yes.
I love the production design.
The factory, the motel.
Even the hospital. I mean,
the hospital. Dude, his house, rented a limited time, but it's decorated for Halloween. It looks homey.
Absolutely.
The shop that he stops at.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just like everything about it. And, you know, obviously we've basically one scene to scene. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
But the score, dude.
Oh, the score is so good.
This is right up there with the first one for my two favorites in this entire 13-movie franchise.
Oh, it's definitely top. I mean, the new Halloween trilogy. Anytime John Carpenter's involved, dude's a whiz, man. He should have just been a composer. I mean, obviously, I'm not discrediting the directing stuff, but man, like, he took a break from movies there for like 2 decades or something. He should have made some scores, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But especially this theme, yes, I agree. It
Very synthy.
Dude, I remember the first time I watched this movie, I was in a hotel for work, like in Minnesota, I think, at the time. Somewhere like that. And I'll never forget, I turned on the movie, I was like, we'll see what happens. And just watching the pumpkin, I love that, by the way. Yeah. Watching the pumpkin slowly appear with the beep, 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 whatever. Sending you a text and being like, dude, the intro to this fucking movie is gas.
Yeah, yeah.
And I knew I was in for, I was so settled in by then. Oh,
for
man.
Sure. I love the Silver Shamrock tune, too.
Me too.
Dun, 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 dun. 8 more days till Halloween.
I kind of hated it at first because I was like, it's just London Bridge, really? But now I love it now. Yeah, it's just...
London Bridge no longer exists.
Oh, dude. Now I don't even think of that anymore. Now to me, it's just Silver Shamrock.
Yeah.
And they just took that because it was free for licensing purposes.
Yeah. And it's catchy. It makes so sense for a commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Shamrock.
This is another one I don't really have. It's not perfect, but it's imperfectly perfect.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't have anything in that matter bad.
In the I kind of have some there. Whenever we get to the hotel, it starts to drag a little bit for me.
Okay.
I've never loved. I love whenever the things happen where the woman obviously gets shot in the fucking face with one of those things, and some of those kind of things, and the interactions they have with Cochran and stuff. Excuse me. But just some of the hotel stuff for some reason always just kind of slowed down for me, just a weeny bit.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. I don't have anything else. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Just a slight little bit of drag there.
All right.
For a minute.
So we can hop over to our final thoughts and ratings. What do you want to leave off with Season of the Witch? What do you give it out of 10?
You already said it. It's not perfect. But good grief, man. The more I talk about it, the more I'm like, I'm really struggling to say anything bad about it. I mean, again, the title should have been changed. They never meant to trick anybody, but you should have knew that was a mistake. But on the whole, I mean, me and you just call this Season of the Witch. We don't even say Halloween 3, any of that shit. From top to bottom, just an interesting movie. The concept more than ever is terrific, and I think me and you both agree, I could do with a remake of this, maybe.
Yeah.
Somewhat soon.
Or just give me more Halloween movies that are in the
anthologies. Either of the two.
Yeah.
It's just phenomenal. It's perfect for the season, as a lot of these are. I mean, I don't have much bad to say. It's great. I think this movie is great, and I'm gonna sit at a solid 9 out of 10.
Hell yeah, I love to hear it.
This is the only place where we're gonna deviate. This is what I was talking about in the last review.
Yeah. 10 out of 10.
Just by a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not far off from each other. Yeah. This is one I grew up with.
That might be like 9.5, really.
Yeah. This is one I grew up with, along with the original, so they both have heavy nostalgia for me. Those are the two I have a tattoo for. Mm-hmm. I've always loved the masks. As you can see, I have the pumpkin. It's just always one. I've loved the score. I just have always loved everything about it. And just like the original Halloween, it's not perfect by any means, but for me, it's one of my 10 out of 10s. It's not a perfect movie, but it's a damn good film.
Damn good movie.
And you just got to give it a chance, man.
If you give it a chance, I don't think anybody will be. Yeah. I don't think you can regret it. If you can separate the title from the franchise.
If you go into this as like it's a separate horror film, not a part of the franchise, you'll really like it.
You know what you should do? Whenever you show this to people, just call it Season of the Witch. Never say anything about Halloween, blah, 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 blah. And then it'll just be fun cameo for people to go, oh, Halloween's in the movie. Yeah. Whatever. Because you get the beep, beep, beep. Nah, I get that it does say Halloween 3 Season of the Witch at some point, doesn't it? I mean, just, I don't know if it's somebody that you like, just give them a kiss real quick.
Yeah.
So they don't see it. Do something, dude. I don't know.
It's so
Look,
good.
There's a squirrel. It's that simple.
Yeah, it's so good. that'll do it for Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Kory, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
Thank you all for watching. If you like what you're watching, check out some other videos. Hit the subscribe button or follow social links down below. 1 and 2 are out as well. 4, 5, and 6 are coming your way as we will next tackle the Curse of Thorn storyline. So stick around for that. We'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.